The Supreme Court said it will decide if President Trump can limit the constitutional right to citizenship at birth. President Trump, you might remember, issued an order at the start of his second term to eliminate the law which automatically grants citizenship to anyone born in the United States. Birthright citizenship has long been understood to be required under the 14th Amendment. I want to bring in CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson for her analysis. Jessica, I'm always grateful to have you in moments like this. Explain for the audience what is and what the Trump administration has said ought to be.
So what currently is the 14th Amendment that we've understood for more than 100 years, well over 100 years, to say that it doesn't matter what the status of your parents are. If you're born in this country, then you are a citizen of this country. That particular view was supported by an 1868 case and by subsequent congressional statutes. So we have, ever since the 14th Amendment was ratified after the Civil War, understood that the only question really is, are you born in this country? And with the caveat of maybe if your parents, in fact, serve as foreign consulates, for instance. But the question now is whether or not the president can, by executive order, undermine that understanding. The Supreme Court's going to take up this case. I think this was always destined for the court. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think this is maybe 8-1, 7-2, that no, the president cannot do this.
And do you think, Jessica, that's why the court took it? Because as you well laid out, we have precedent and statute. Do you think the court wanted to make an affirmative declaration that those are the governing elements of this question?
Or at least four members of the court. As you know, and you're a student of the court as well, all it takes in order to decide to take a case is 4 votes. And so I think there easily could have been 4 to say the president has tried to change the understanding of the Constitution by executive order. We should be clear that there has been no court that has agreed that he can do that. This executive order, which I believe was signed on the first day of his presidency, never went into effect. But yes, to your question, I think this is one of those big constitutional questions that, generally speaking, the Supreme Court is the final word.
And Jessica, just for the sake of argument, what would American law and immigration policy look like if the Trump perspective were to prevail?
Great question. So if the Trump perspective prevails, then I think what you see is, frankly, in the short term, an administrative mess in the sense of trying to figure out who is a citizen and who is not. What is the status of newborn's parents? Can you prove that when you go into, I mean, this is a bit of an exaggeration, but can you prove when you go into labor and delivery that in fact both parents are US citizens or have legal status? With respect to how this would affect other areas of the law, what would be the ripple effect? I mean, it really would be that there would be fewer citizens. And I think, again, the big short-term impact would be a lot of paperwork, a lot of sorting, a lot of proof to determine who now falls outside of the protection of the 14th Amendment.
Jessica Levinson, always a pleasure. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.